All right. So today, Caitlin Clark and Team USA are set to face Puerto Rico. And on paper, this matchup looks slightly tougher than their previous game, but honestly, not by much. Let's look at the context for a second. Puerto Rico is currently ranked 13 in the world, which sounds respectable at first, but rankings can be pretty misleading. For example, Puerto Rico just lost Italy by 40 points, and Italy is actually ranked 14th, technically behind them. So when you see results like that, it really shows that these rankings don't always mean a whole lot. Now, to be fair, Italy is a solid team. They look strong in that game. But if we're being realistic here, the expectation is still that Team USA wins comfortably. My guess? Probably somewhere in the 15 to 20 point range if the game stays competitive. But based on what we've seen in this group, it could honestly get much uglier than that. Just look at the results from yesterday. Spain won by 50. USA won by 60. Italy won by 40. So the general expectation for games in this group has basically been blowouts. Because of that, a lot of people are expecting USA to win this one by around 40 points as well. Now, one player people might recognize from Puerto Rico is Irela Garanis. She actually spent some time connected to the WNBA and even signed with the Chicago Sky before eventually being waived. She's supposed to be the star of this Puerto Rico team. In the AmeriCup, she averaged around 17 points per game, and in the Central Basket Women's Championships, she put up an insane 32 points per game. Even at the Olympics, she averaged around 12 points. But in the last game, she only scored 2 points in 7 minutes, which is pretty surprising for someone who's supposed to be the offensive centerpiece. And the reason might be simple. She reportedly showed up hurt. If that's the case and she doesn't play or is limited, then Puerto Rico's chances of keeping this competitive drop even further. Honestly, if she's out, this game could get completely out of hand. From what I watched, I saw bits of the Italy game, but I watched more Spain absolutely cooking New Zealand. The level difference between some of these teams is pretty clear, and that brings us to the big question. What does this mean for Caitlin Clark and Team USA's rotation today? Personally, I don't even expect Caitlin Clark to start this game. And that's not a knock on her. It's more about how meaningless this matchup is in the bigger picture. The coaching staff is probably going to experiment with different lineups, random starting fives, and rotations where groups of 5 come on and off together. This is basically a game where you test things. The scoreline honestly doesn't matter. If Caitlin Clark comes in and finishes with 2 points and 3 assists, it doesn't change anything for Team USA. They've already qualified for the next stage. So the focus now is preparation, not dominance. If I'm the coaching staff, I'm giving heavy minutes to players like Chelsea Gray. Because when you eventually face teams like Italy and Spain, those are the players who control tempo and spacing. When you look ahead to those tougher games, the core rotation probably revolves around players like Caitlin Clark, Jackie Young, Angel Reese, Chelsea Gray, Nafisa Collier, Dearica Hamby, Paige Bueckers, and Kelsey Plum. Those are the players whose speed and athleticism will really make the difference against teams like Italy and Spain. Spain in particular plays a very structured, system-based style. They move the ball well, they process the game quickly, but they don't necessarily have overwhelming athleticism. That's where Team USA usually takes control. But again, today's game probably isn't about that at all. Instead, I actually expect to see a lot more Paige Bueckers running the offense in stretches. One thing that's been really interesting is how well Paige plays off the ball with Caitlin Clark. Her cutting, her movement, and the spacing she creates really complement Clark's playmaking. And that trio of Caitlin Clark, Paige Bueckers, and Angel Reese is honestly fascinating to watch. Their skill sets naturally fit together in a way that just makes sense. Angel Reese's rebounding and interior presence, Clark's passing and deep shooting, and Paige's movement and scoring versatility. It creates a really balanced dynamic. Another interesting thing to think about is how different players fit alongside Clark in general. For example, Aaliyah Boston had to adapt her game quite a bit to play next to Caitlin Clark, but she did incredibly quickly and still managed to perform at a high level. Not every player adjusts that smoothly, and that's why roster construction matters so much. Sometimes it's not about who the best player is. It's about who fits best alongside your star. But coming back to this matchup, I'm honestly not expecting a huge stat line from Caitlin Clark today. Could she drop something like 17 points and 12 assists again? Sure, she's capable of that against anyone, but I doubt she even plays enough minutes for that. I guess she plays around 12 to 15 minutes, maybe a little more depending on how the rotations go. Because this game, and even the next one against New Zealand, doesn't really matter. If I'm Team USA, I'm using these games to give extended minutes to the younger or less experienced players. Let them get 20 to 25 minutes, experiment with different combinations, and save the real intensity for the games that actually matter. And those games are very clear. The only matchups that truly matter in this group are USA versus Italy and USA versus Spain. Those are the games where you'll see the real rotations, the real strategies, and the real urgency from Team USA. Everything else? Honestly, it's just preparation.